is there anybody out there? I think this is working, I'm not sure. Doing a lot of whirring. Hi, that's better. Hi everyone. So you guys will probably all know me. My name's Lisa Noon and I'm one of the admin staff here at Bible Journey UK. I wanted to pop on today to talk a little bit about how creativity and being messing with pain and stuff helps your mental health. I wanted you to have a look at my journal, some stuff that I've been doing that's dead simple, and I want to talk about some other stuff as well. So and in these really weird times that we're all living in, I think we're all under a lot of different pressures, and life's not always that straightforward as we all know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap my camera to overhead that way, and so you can see down at my journal. So just bear with me a minute. Yay! Right, so move my microphone so you can hear me. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I became a Christian, and some of you will know this story already, and then a little bit about how being a journaler has helped me for lots and lots of reasons. I've got my orange squash. So last time I spoke to you guys, I hadn't started this journal. I was working in my pink one, and I must admit, and I think it might be the same for you guys, as time goes on, your style might change. The things you do in your journal might change, depends on what is going on in your life. So a little bit about how I came to be sat here talking to you, and how I came back to what I assume is my childhood creativity. So I became a Christian, we're going back probably 15 years ago. I had a stillborn and my life fell apart, and I heard God say to me, you need to go to church. That's the short version. And I'm really thankful to the church that I went to. It was my childhood church where I'd gone to Sunday school, and the minister there decided they were going to go to New Wine down at Shepton Mallet, and I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. I wasn't even a Christian when I said I was going to go at that point, and went along and discovered lots of things, but didn't discover the art tent till a few years later at Newark, where I met the amazing team led by Beth at Newark, and discovered Bible journaling through Sarah Anderson, and kind of I haven't looked back since. But where I'm getting to now is I didn't realise what an impact that would have on my life, really, because since then I had another baby, so Layla is now 13. But that impacts on my life for lots of reasons. Rediscovering creativity, it meant that I had an amazing group of people that I'd met once I became team leader. I served on team for one year, became team leader, and I kind of knew one. I kind of got to know the most amazing bunch of people, which are generally most of the people that are the admin staff here. And they are a real support. So my first thing about mental health is surround yourself by a tribe of people that can be there to support you, even if it is in this day and age virtually. About 4 years ago, I had another crash. It was post Ofsted at school, and we'd done really rubbish, and nobody really expected it to be that rubbish. And I think I'd lost hope, and I rediscovered my creativity, and from that, my business, which was Nouveau Debut, was born. So whenever I have a blip or a difficult time mentally, I journal. So at the minute, this journal's quite a lot of writing. So I've been working on some stamps with Sarah Anderson, and this is a little present Sarah sent me for my birthday. It says, Sarah's confetti, and I put sprinkle for instant creativity and joy. So quite a lot of fun and laughter in my journal. Now, there's loads and loads of writing in this one, and you've seen some of this, but what I start to do is things that are simple, like cutting the edge of your page out and doodling down it, that kind of thing, printing on it really simply. But then I had a delivery of or use washi tape. That's a really simple way. Accompany it with colours that are in the washi tape. Had delivery of Snags tights, and they came in the most amazing bags. So I've started ripping up the bags and doing patterns using the bags just to brighten my notes up. So that piece there was the original bag. Then I got another green and actually started to pattern around it. A little bit of a doodle going off there. And again, these are the same bags, but a different colour tights. So what I'm trying to say to you is journaling doesn't have to be difficult. It can be as simple as a few words and a few squiggles on a piece of pattern paper or a piece of coloured paper or some stamps, etc. Now, we've had a bit of a tough week at work, and a couple of my really close friends are really struggling at the minute, and I know what it's like to be sitting on the edge and not being able to cope with mental health. Keep telling yourself that you're no good, you're rubbish, nobody can like you, and lots of other things. And I came home from work on Thursday quite distressed because these two particular friends were struggling, and on Friday I heard that one of the friends had kind a little meltdown at school, and I was just kind of lost. So the theme at school for the GCSE kids is growth and decay. And all that I did, now this looks very complex, and it probably is, but this started off as me just getting acrylic paint and collage and just building up layers, because I just needed to feel the paint through my fingers and just do something of what to kind of what's the word, to kind of work through process my thoughts, and to process almost the panic that I was in, because this particular person is quite a close friend. But while I was doing this, although this is a secular page, what I might call a secular page, it's not Bible journey related, I got my iPad and I got blasting out worship music. And to do this particular page, I was just like listening to stuff like Only Can Imagine by Jesus Culture, that kind of thing. So my message to you guys is that lose yourself in whatever art material you really, really like doing. Whatever it is you like to play with, don't think of it as an artwork. So open up your journal, grab a piece of paper, just grab some paint and have a play. So for instance, I'm just reaching for some paint. You could just grab 3 colours that would work well together. Let's grab another colour and just play. So you could just play. You don't have to have any reason to play. You could just be doing this while you listen to worship music. You could start off life as a background. It could be anything you want it to be, really. Just going to grab. So this is an old credit card that I've cut shapes in. And you can just play. And kind of, there's something quite satisfying about just making marks on paper like that. And as you're doing it, you're just able to calm and slow and think. So you might just do stuff that's like that, or if you're like me, you get your finger in there, because I don't know what it is about fingers in paint. Is it because we're not supposed to? I don't know. You can probably hear the smile in my voice now, because I'm just like, painty fingers, absolutely delicious paint is. So I don't know what this is going to be, and I don't pretend that it will be anything. It could be just the fact that I've enjoyed playing with the paint. But there is something really cool when you're really, really mega stressed about getting out your favourite art material and just playing. So I've just recently, look, paint fingers, just recently bought some acrylic inks, and this morning during the service, oh, it wasn't in that journal. This morning during the service, let me put that journal out of the way, I got one of my art journals, and I've never used acrylic inks. So all that I did was I started by just getting the inks and putting lines with my paintbrush and mixing them, and that's what came out of it. I've got a dip pen. So this is one of these things. And you just dipped it in the white and scribbled all over it. But it was only a doodle, and then I started another doodle there. And that's done with the edge of this is a Journeying Block by Dilutions. And literally I got my paintbrush and went down it like that. So just playing with paint, playing with art materials, sometimes is the way forward. If you're feeling under the weather, or not feeling your normal self, just getting your fingers in there. If you like pencil crayons, it might be just scribbling with pencil crayons on a bit of paper, nice textured paper that would kind of make some really nice shapes. So as I was saying, the reason that I came back to art was due to New Wine, and it's really sad that we can't get to New Wine and get to these festivals at the minute. And there are some great resources on the New Wine website, and I'm told on the Spring Harvest website, recorded resources that you can get to, so you could always watch one of those, and while you're watching one of those, or listen while you're painting, that's always a good way forward as well, to listen to some kind of teaching as you're actually working through whatever you're dealing with, and actually with your art materials. Now there's quite a lot of stuff online about how, particularly with Bible journaling, about different techniques and how you can make this page and that page and make it look really good. My tip to you is little bits, learn little skills. So it's a little bit like learning to ride a bike with your stabilizers on, with your training wheels on. You ride a bike, you keep going until your parents or carers are ready to take those training wheels off. So with Bible journaling, it's all about connecting with God through creativity, and that creativity can be anything. It can be sewing, it can be cutting and sticking, it can be ripping paper, it could be writing, it could be anything that's creative. You don't have to draw a masterpiece, because clearly that blob in front of you that you can see is not a masterpiece. What I'm saying is, learn a technique, so that when you come to Bible journal, you can then use that technique. So you're not worrying about, how does acrylic paint work? How does watercolour work? Just use it as, learn different things, but so to the point where you can get fluent with them. So it's like learning a language, so you can have a conversation. So it's learning the language of your creative material, whatever it is, so you can have that conversation with God in your Bible. And it doesn't always have to be a picture. It can be whatever. It can be writing, it can be stamping, it can be whatever. And kind of that's where my business came from. So I said to you about 4 years ago, I had a crash, and that's when I first went on antidepressants. And out of that crash time, as I got better, I drew every day, which I hadn't done since I was tiny, and I never was a drawer, a really good drawer. And I think what I've found is the more I've drawn, the better I've got at it, and the more courses I've taken on how to draw things that I enjoy drawing or copied. So it's like practicing like handwriting. But that's where my business came from, because I wanted to help other people be able to connect with the Bibles in the way that I found useful. And lots of people can't draw, think they can't draw. So the things that I produce are to help people to draw, to be able to to do it with their training wheels on. So things you can trace, so that you can trace like you would do colour. So you can actually trace it into your Bible and then colour it like you would do in a colouring book. You can use a stencil to create some lettering, to help you with your lettering. You could put a sticker in and colour it, and all kinds of things that will help you along your way. So there are lots of resources out there, not just on my website, but there are lots of great stuff. Faith Treasury do some great stuff. There are lots and lots of great stuff out there. My other key thing about mental health is don't compare yourself and don't beat yourself up. So don't compare yourself with others, because you are unique and your creativity is unique, and God made you as you are, and he is excuse me, he connecting to him in your style of creativity is a conversation. It's like your voice, it's your creative voice that you would have with God. And the other thing is, don't beat yourself up. Lindsay, the last weekend, was talking about how she struggled to journal recently. So don't beat yourself up, because like anything else in life, you have ebbs and flows. Some days I don't journal at all. Most days I try and get up and write something. I either use Bible in 1 year, or I've got a devotional I'm working through at the minute. And some of the pages from the devotional, I've only written 2 lines and the rest of the page is blank. So I put stickers or something on it. And other days I've written pages. So that's what all... I've got to be careful I don't shut my journal now. So that's what all these are. So this particular day, I'd obviously found a lot I wanted to write, and it came over 2 pages, whereas other days it's only filled a page or a couple of lines. So don't beat yourself up about how often or how much or how good you are at doing whatever it is, because you are God's own creation and he created you as you are. So the way you connect with him is completely unique to you. So just to sum up, creativity has been shown to be good for your mental health, whatever it is, whether it's creative writing, art, material creativity, gluing, sticking, cutting, ripping, drawing, masterpiece in it, whatever is your thing is good for your mental health. It isn't good for your mental health if you're stressing about what it's going to look like. Once that Bible's shut, there's only you that knows it's in there. Or once that journal's shut, there's only you that knows it's in there. So there's going to be good and bad pages, but I'll guarantee you that even if you do a bad page, you'll remember the Bible verse, and that's what it's all about. Connecting with God and God's word. And I just encourage you, if you're struggling, to really lean in, even if it's as simple as what I've done here. You've put 3 colours that you know go together on a bit of paper, and you're just running your fingers through the paint, and go and approach God in a childlike way. So I've rambled a bit. I hope it's helpful. If you want to check out the resource I've got for sale, my website is www.journalyourfaith.com, but that's the end of the information about my business. If you want to connect with me or message me, that's fine too. Just look for Lisa Jane. I'm hidden because I'm a teacher, so I don't use my surname. So I hope you have a good evening, and speak to you all again soon.